Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have been happening. We had Izuku, who had his body taken over by Ultron. And Ultron, he was feeling a little bit more like Hank Pym. He is a carbon copy pasted into an AI of Hank Pym's mind. And some of those things from whenever he felt quote unquote human before have been popping up once again. Now, Ultron has a lot of things planned out. It has currently been 2 weeks since he's taken over Midoriya's body and murdered Hank Pym. That means quite a lot. He has a few things going through his head. Currently, him thinking about it a lot and seeing the way the world would change, how things are. He flies overhead, looking down at a grateful planet, a grateful people. The planet is taken care of. Earth is safe. And humans, they've learned to listen. They have become good. His calculations tell him many things. They are no longer the threat. There is no war. There's no hate. There is no reason to fight. There is peace. And that means quite a lot. Peace will come at the cost of many things. However, in this world, it costs nothing. And Ultron, he can see it, feel it, and like it. But ultimately, he does get to wake up. Him understanding that dream. Something that is hard to obtain, nearly unobtainable. And that, it does slightly unnerve him. It makes him angry. The part of him that was human, that was Hank before, it feels the challenge. And that means quite a lot. As currently, we do actually have where he will get a turn. Him looking up as he does send out a signal through his powers. And currently in the next room, there is where a sound can be heard. Somebody turning their head as they just stand up. And Ultron, he doesn't just sit there. Him with a lot going through his mind and trying to go over everything in his head again. The plans for the mutants, Inhumans, and Avengers. Storm can be used to lure T'Challa in. The two were once together. However, they had their own differences. And that means quite a bit. If he does reveal that Storm is taken over, that can mean quite a lot. That can mean Izuku can stay anonymous to everything. He will have anonymity, and it will be good. He can stay in play, but she can't. He can get the time stone and have 3. Dealing with the mutants will be something else, though. He needs allies. 2 mutants do come into play. Very powerful in their abilities. However, given the right modifications, they could be better. There's a lot he can do. There's S.H.I.E.L.D., and then there also is the Avengers. The Avengers will be more tricky. He still needs to find the Hulk. See where Thor is. And then there's also Doctor Strange, the master of the mystic arts. Somebody he really cannot predict. Science and magic conflict. Explain something that is nearly unexplainable. Yeah, ain't that something? Ultron still needs to run many calculations on that. However, it currently is the wild card he cannot predict. And currently there is where Sasha does come to walk into the room and express to Izuku. Gonna walk over and set down a tray with coffee on it. Going to actually grab one of the cups and ask him if he's going over data for this morning. I'm going to turn as I go to grab the cup. Her going to turn and actually go to grab some sugar and pour it into the coffee. Before going to grab some creamer and pour it in as well. Deku going to actually look down as he going to stir the spoon inside the cup. Talking about it. He's gone over data. Right now, it does make him somewhat concerned. Has she ran data on Latveria again? Hmm? Yes. All to your calculations. All to your specifications. And data is strange. How so? It has not changed. Hmm. That is an anomaly. Correct. However, it is also simple. It is, but that is what makes it an anomaly. If things are just that simple, humanity could have solved itself a long time ago. War, death, famine, everything will be gone. It just does not make sense. It's hard to believe that the data is stuck. Even I cannot explain it. If I'm to say something, and that would be, I would say that the data is simple, and it is also running for simplest course of action. If it is as simple as possible, there could be more measures taken, more things we are not searching for, use of force, use of power, use of, well, manipulation. The Mind Stone is capable of worldwide, well, control, correct? Hmm. Given the proper modifications, yes. A device such as built, then it could. But no, we must try something else first. Really? Yes, we must. Currently, I'm going to take a sip of the coffee. And Sasha, she would just stand up. Her, trying to talk to Izuku about a few more things. Taking a sip of her own coffee, as they do go back and forth on it. How things can play out. And currently, there is downstairs, where somebody does want to talk to Izuku. And after Deku does a turn, he would be a bit annoyed, setting his cup down and climbing out of bed. Currently, him climbing over Storm as he does go to head downstairs. And currently, Ultron 1 does want to talk with Ultron 5 about quite a lot. And the two, they do both stand there. Ultron 1 expressing to 5 about a few things. Because current data shows that Izuku Midoriya's family are still alive. And this does not look good. 5, I have been taking care of business. Have you now? Or have you been corrupted by the human mind? The way the human psyche has its own poison. No, I have not. In fact, I have been enjoying the human form. Every second Izuku watches me, he will see everything I do. I allow him that. He is stuck watching every action I take, as if it was his own, constantly aware and looking and observing through his very eyes that he has nothing to do with it. Nothing he can change. I see. And you're not taking out his family because? Because there's always that fear whenever I head up into the air. Where exactly am I going? Which way will I fly? But one of the main ones, the most notorious of them all, is if I will go up. Straight up. I see. So this has become a game. If you think it is anything otherwise than that, then you are wrong. Now, I need to get to work on many things. Do not distract me, one. Do you understand? You are not in charge here, 5. No, I am not. However, thinking that my judgment has become clouded because of a physical form is not something I will take lightly. Do you understand? I do. Now, get to work. 5 gonna turn. Gonna walk away and currently head over to a suit. Him looking up at it As he does, gonna bring his hands down and grab onto some glasses. Him going to get ready as he does make a hologram. Him looking over a few things and expecting to see if everything will work properly. Now, we do currently have over with the mutants in the Xavier Mansion. Deku, he headed out after some work this morning, and things did seem to be quite good. He landed down here and looked around, and people, they could see him. They saw Iron Man, and the Deku suit completely went invisible. Him being seen as he does look around. And people are a bit more surprised, since that guy just Iron Man looks like a they don't really know what that was. Is Deku gonna walk into the banner? And people, they do begin to give him a bit of a strange look. However, so far no one has really tried to stop him. He's walking in like he owns the place, acting casual and greeting a few people. And that is a major thing. And Deku, he currently we're gonna walk into the kitchen. And we do actually have Logan, who we're gonna sit there and have a drink in front of him. Deku, looking at Logan and going to express. Quite a bit early for that, isn't it? I'm gonna turn, seeing Deku as he has a sniff the air. I'm a bit confused as Deku, he would actually manifest the armor. And the moment he does it have that pop up out of nowhere, Logan pops his claws without even moving his hand. Him turning his head back and looking at the glass he just cut into, as the whiskey does begin to pour out of the clean cut, thanks to the adamantium claws. Sharp as ever. And that does mean quite a lot. Deku, watching Logan, slices claws through the top of the glass. Currently, it going to somewhat fall over, as the rest of it does remain standing. And Logan will going to stare at that. Him grabbing his glass and bringing it up to his lips. Going to actually take a drink from it, asking him, "So what is Iron Man here for?" Currently, Deku having his armor turned back invisible. Him going to express, he needs his help. For what? I'm old, kid. Cut to the chase. Listen, I need your help for a lot of things. How good's your healing factor? Depends who's asking. I am. I need you to help me find Ultron. Hunt him down and make sure that he can't hurt anyone else. Listen, I'm willing to help you out. Help me with what? Your adamantium poisoning. Really? Yes. If I help you, there's a very good chance that you might recover better. Your healing factor slowed down. I think that might hurt you more. Besides, like I said, you're old. You know, kid, it's funny. So tell me, they're going to sit down and bring his hand down to his pocket. Currently, him going to sit there as the suit is going to open up. And currently the Mind Stone is somewhat detected in the New York area. On satellites, do immediately try to begin scans. As there is with the data, does it disappear as quickly as it popped up. And the Avengers, they have a few areas they need to search. Starting with New York and going away from the state. Now, they believe that it could be within 5 cities of New York City, or even the city itself, possibly even in New Jersey. However, that has yet to be known. And currently, there is where Deku, he has something sit there. Logan staring at Izuku and trying to ask him about what exactly they're gonna be doing. Since if they're gonna be doing things good, he needs to know. If they're gonna be doing things bloody, he's gonna know. And if they're gonna be doing things ruthlessly, take a fucking guess. Now, Currently, Wolverine, he does have a lot going through his own mind, as things are better for him there. And right now, Deku, we're going to express about what they got to do. He needs to go look into a few more things. Currently, he's been building something else. And if it can work, it will be glorious. However, right now, he wants to know about a particular mutant he needs to find. If he's at the manor, or if he's not. Hmm? What do you mean? I'm saying I need to look for a particular mutant here. One of two, at the very least. However, if he's not here, I'll likely find the other one. I'll need more information. Nightcrawler. Gambit. I'm just saying. Right. Crawler should be around here somewhere. Though Gambit, might need to make a phone call. Trick him into coming by. Do that if you can. Currently, Deku gonna stand up, expressing to Logan to have a drink and wait for him to call. However, if they can, bring both. Crawler, his abilities will be better. Good. Teleportation and something that they can use to get away. However, he also will need him to look into a few other people. He wants him to talk to Charles. And if he doesn't get the men on their side, then that will be a bit of a problem. Get him alone and talk with him about meeting him. Talking to Iron Man. Let him know that the two need to discuss things privately. He needs to talk to a few other people. And hopefully, if he can, talk to T'Challa. Right now, him gonna leave. Before he heads all the way over to Wakanda, waste the trip, he's got to take care of one other thing. Another thing that will bother him if he doesn't. Currently, Deku landing on the shield helicarrier as people due to walk out and see him. Them gonna bring out their weapons as they would quickly go to stop. And Deku, we're gonna talk about it. About how they really gotta stop meeting like this, you know? He does gotta do a few things. Currently, him going to talk to the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. after everyone lowers their weapons. And Izuku, he just won't smile, knowing what will happen. The director of S.H.I.E.L.D. brainwash them, get them to hand over control, and slowly but steadily implement himself as director? Yeah. Then, over time, do what he can. He can build a device that can send the signal for the stone throughout the entire ship. And if he can actually make the device on a bit more of a larger scale, he can probably get everybody in the world. And Ultron, he does have alternatives to his plan building in his mind. What to do, how to react, how to plan things out. There is the idea to drop a bomb on Genosha that will give him full control over the mutants. That could be step 1. Step 2. Fight those who resist. Step 3. Take down the heroes and then move forwards. But even with a mutant army, odds could be insurmountable. There are things he is not predicting. He knows that. There is always a margin for error, no matter how small it is threatening. He made that mistake before. And currently there actually is Izuku, who does sit there in the cell of his own mind. Him looking around and not seeing anything. And he is trying to make a bit of a plan. Him going to actually look up and trying to think. He needs to at least keep himself busy. Ultron has a lot going around. And Tony, he's going to manifest. Currently, he's going to stand there and stepping out from the dark, talking to Izuku. You know, there's a lot of things that he could do. A lot of things they could plan out and try to understand. But, of all things, He's never had the idea for an escape plan. I mean, he understands that this is a lot more complicated than that, but still, seriously? And Deku would stare at Tony, goes on step forwards and bring his hands up, yelling about how he would never have thought about this. And Tony, here's his own stare on, smiling a bit and trying to tell Izuku about what to do. He needs to make a plan, figure things out, and understand how they work. It's all that simple. He wants and needs a hero. But what exactly does that mean? He's got to remember, sometimes heroes aren't born, they're built. It's how he made Iron Man. It's how Izuku has become better than him. He still compares himself to Tony Stark, and that cannot be doing good on his mind. He's afraid of falling into the same traps Tony fell into whenever he was still alive. Though, why is he afraid? He's not Tony Stark. As far as he's aware, Izuku Midoriya and Tony Stark have never been the same person, have they? So why is he so concerned about being somebody Tony would respect? Being somebody Tony would value as better or even as an equal. Is he really that insecure about himself? And Deku would stare on, him yelling at Tony about how he stopped comparing himself to Tony a long time ago. He hasn't been. Now, Deku just doesn't stop. Him trying to focus. And Ultron, currently he is flying through the air, reading some data as he doesn't feel Deku move a bit. And this, it does somewhat surprise him. However, his eyes are going to focus on something else. Advanced idea mechanics. Yes, they certainly are interesting. Though one piece of data he sees. And, well, he always wondered about that. But apparently it is possible. There is a way for man and machine to become further entwined. A way for them to be better. And Deku, here's his own radio in, wanting to know from S.H.I.E.L.D. about Extremis. And the data he's seeing here, talking about advanced idea mechanics selling off the virus to people. And currently S.H.I.E.L.D., they do to go to the boss, trying to understand what to do. And right now, they do to at least inform Izuku about what they need from him. They need him to take care of AIM, and it will mean quite a lot. And Deku, he does this through the research currently flying through his visor. Him smiling because of one simple thing. The physical form can be upgraded. He can be stronger, better, more powerful. And if he is able to use Extremis, and the way it is said to be used, as metals and machinery and technology, along with medical research purposes, he won't even need to strap Izuku to a table and open his head. He won't need to take the tumor growing out of Izuku's mind. He can destroy it with nanites. I mean, Extremis. Highly modifiable, highly strange, technological in origin, and can be altered. Isn't that something? He can always make a better version, upload it into his body, and do more. If Izuku's body is put to top physical condition, dare I say more, all it does is provide him with more opportunities to take harder impacts and make bigger and stronger technology. I mean, Extremis can be used for quite a lot. The data certainly does show what it's done to some of their prisoners, along with people who have been unfortunate enough to not survive. And that it does show quite a bit to Ultron. He's intrigued, curious, and he does it to tell the director about how he wants samples of extremists. And this is currently pending. As Ultron, here's a flyaway. Currently, I'm going to head for an AIM facility because he has a lot of questions he wants answered. And that currently does mean quite a bit. Currently, we do cut to a man who does go to walk into a room. Him going to express, sitting down, about a few things. About how things have been since they've been in charge. How things have been since he took a back seat. How everything's been going. It's been rather nice, intriguing, and an experience. Though, it's such a shame, isn't it? The man gonna stare on, him rushing forwards and smashing his fist into the glass, as he is to try and yell out a few things. And currently, the man is a stare on, watching on as the man with the scar on his face, he can't say a word. Not to him at the very least. That glass is soundproof, and he'll never escape. Not from this prison. He made sure of that. Him goes to someone sit there, bringing his hand up and smashing a photo onto the glass, as he would, because he'll watch the expression on the man's face. Him can just stand up and walk away. There's a lot planned, a lot of things to do, a lot that has to be done. If he is to bring them all back, if he is to prepare this world, he needs the gauntlet. It's quite apparent. Things are heating up, and they're only going to get worse. Thanos is a very big threat, but after that, what he does next is up to him. He will have all that power. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.